anything you want to add or subtract? Accounting office, is there anything you want to add or subtract? Okay. So we shall start with a prayer. I want to ask my clerk to lead us in the prayer.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the officers of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humanity, we beseech you to look upon with your abundant favor these your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon them here assembled, and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under their deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their church. Amen.
Accounting officer, housekeeping. All the numbers are for the washrooms for gents. If you want washrooms for the gents, they are near the lifts. Even the numbers are for the ladies. Two, if we are doing when we are here, you want a break, you're free to ask. You don't need to, if you want a small break, you're free. Three, this food is yours and your team. We can only eat when you are finished. Altogether, it is your food. In the Bugisu, guests first before we, the owners, eat. Having said that, let me call my colleagues and my team to introduce. I will introduce from my side, then give you an opportunity to introduce your side.
A very good morning to you, Chair, colleagues, and our guests this morning. Frederick Amura, representing the interests of the people of Tororo South County. Thank you.
Frederick.
Good morning. Members, my name is Florence Namayanja. I represent Wokoto East constituency. I'm the shadow vice chair of this committee.
Thank you. I thought you were going to forget. And the incoming Lord Mayor, Masaka City. So when you see her, that's the Lord Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, I want to give you information. We have only one Lord Mayor in Uganda for the capital city. For the cities, we have mayors.
Oh, Madam Mayor.
And I request that you pray for me, you facilitate me, you support me financially and
economically. I'll do that. For you, be sure. Dr. General. No.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, honorable members and the team from Mulago. My name is Tumwebaze Arnold, Accountant General's Office, attached to this committee.
Thank you, Arnold.
Good morning, members. I'm Chivirige Timothy, Principal Auditor, Officer of the Auditor General.
Morning, members. Raymond Opolota are my names, the Principal Auditor, Officer of the Auditor General, attached to this committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Alex Onanyang, Assistant to Deputy Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Emao Mikaya, the Technical Staff to Park.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Claire Achan, the technician attached to the committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Detective Inspector Chamlabi Janat, CID attached to the committee.
Good morning, Chair. Inyali Tom, Legal.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is Gilbert Ainum Jisha. I'm the clerk to the committee.
Accounting officer, the rest I will introduce. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and honorable members of Parliament and the team. My name is Biarugaba Batirana. I'm the Executive Director of Mulago Hospital. and the accounting officer for vote 161. And on my right,
Charles Mwasa, Senior Accountant.
Kelso?
Charles Mwasa, Senior Accountant.
Ponziano Nyeko, Head of Accounts.
Thank you, Chair and members. My name is Richard Patrick Bosa, Senior Human Resource Officer.
Thank you, Chair and members. My name is Aitiang Joffrey. I'm Head Procurement and Disposal Unit, Mulago National Referral Hospital.
Chair, other members would have come, but because of COVID, and Mulago is a COVID treatment center, I have a number of doctors and nurses as well as other staffs who are either undergoing treatment and or they are in self-isolation. That's why we would not see like our internal auditor here and other members. So Chair, accept us in our small number as we are because of COVID. I thank you very much, Chair.
The internal auditor is under treatment, you don't?
Is on self-isolation.
Or he was in contact?
Yes.
Wow, she is a doctor also at times?
No, he's not a doctor. The internal auditor is not a doctor, but he has had a contact, so he has to be on self-isolation for 2 weeks.
I have the members of the public and the members of the fourth estate who are very important to our committee. My name is Nandala Mafavi. I'm the chair of the committee.
Thank you, Chair.
Accounting office, as usual, we must welcome you again. We thank you very much for whatever you're doing to fight COVID-19. Thank you so much. We're getting good reports about Mulago and your action. Given that, we know that's why we delayed. We're also looking at a few issues. But nevertheless, you all come. We're not looking for faults. You come here, you need our support. We also need your support. We give you resources to apply. We want you to account for them. But tell us what the challenges you have incurred and what you want Parliament to assist you with. And I believe this committee will be your mouthpiece as far as dealing with your challenges. For us to be able to move faster, we would be happier if you tell us a true story and not beating up the bush. And park is a good place. Yesterday, somebody said something here that park is hell. Then I discovered I've been heading hell. But I want to tell you, the one who has been saying park is hell is a lie. Park is a friendly committee, and it is basically looking for accountability and the challenges to see how it can move on. And with those few remarks, I would want item number 4, because we need time with the Mulago Hospital, because you are one of the big persons involved in it. We're going to have an optimal moment, but we want to thank you for the small write-up we got, but your write-up needs to be expanded so that we share it with the Ministry of Health and so that they understand it. Meanwhile, that's why we want to give you an appropriate time so that we discuss it, because Mulago is the lead person in managing COVID-19. So we'll go straight directed to item number 5 and see how we can proceed so that we're able to finish maybe within 2 hours' time. My Vice, do you have anything to say?
Before we start? No.
Okay. So, Accounting Officer, we're looking at 2018-2019 Auditor General's report, the issues which Auditor General raised, and which we shall need candid answer from you as we proceed. So, we gave you our resources, and the resources were both financial and non-financial. And the Auditor General, when he audited, he qualified your report. Why?
Mr. Chairman, maybe the accounting officer didn't understand what you asked. The qualified opinion has 3 bases. You have outstanding commitments, you have mischarge of funds, and inappropriate treatment of adjustment. I think those are the basis of qualifying your opinion. That's what we need you to explain.
Accounting officer, that's your microphone. You put it on. You'll switch off when you're going.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair, for those questions. But let me go to this budget of 2018-2019.
Yes.
One of the things was on the non-tax revenue. At that time, we were working in Mulago Hospital, also working in Kawempe, also worked in Chirudu and Women's Hospital. So when we had planned to collect some amount of money, the amount of money could not be collected because we are not at one source. So out of the projected 13 billion, for example, which was going to be collected, was not collected. What we collected was 3.9 billion because the Rowa Mulago phase opened up and then we admitted the patients. That money was supposed to come from admission of the patients. So we didn't collect that money. So we could actually not have that money from non-tax revenue, and then we failed to raise what the budget, what we had planned for. And that's one reason why actually we had that challenge of that was inappropriate treatment of adjustment related to appropriate in aid, because we couldn't collect the money, so we had nothing actually to do. And not because we didn't want to collect it, but because the hospital was not open. The hospital remained closed. Up to now, the hospital is not complete, so we couldn't collect that amount of money. That is one of them.
So you are saying the 13 billion versus 3.94 billion,
yes,
is one because of not managing Kirudu
and because we are not managing Chirudu, we are not managing Chirudu, we are not managing Kawempe, and the hospital Rowa Mulago had closed. So we had nowhere to admit the patients so as to enable us actually to collect that amount of money. So we didn't have it.
Okay.
Yes.
So this affected you?
Yeah, that one really affected me, and affected me actually greatly.
Okay.
Yes.
So in short, those 2 hospitals collect about 10 billion.
Those are actually 3 hospitals. That is the Women's Hospital, the Kawempe and the Chirudu, and also Rowa Mulago would have made us collect more amount of money because we had put in a lot of money in the investment, and we expected to get for it to be complete and we collect more money, which didn't happen.
So the hospital is under construction?
The hospital still remained under construction.
But women ward is with you. Women is in Mulago.
The Women's Hospital is now, it's called the Mulago Specialized Maternal and Neonatal Hospital. It was cut off from Mulago and taken and given its own vote as well as its own accounting officer. So it is not with us.
Hey, so they are cutting you every day?
Yes, every day. Kawempe cut off, Women's Hospital cut off, the Chirudu also cut off. So we are now going to remain like a tree without branches.
Mr. Chairman, what about Chisenyi? I've not heard you talk. Is it a health center or a hospital?
Chisenyi is a health center for under KCCA. It is not with us.
What are you know?
Yeah. Chair, the accounting officer has answered another query, which is also in the
No,
report.
let us go with him. Let him deal with the query. But
Our concern on that issue.
no, can you raise a concern on NTR?
Yeah, it was about the treatment in the accounts.
How we deal with the treatment? What did he do? Accounting officer, you treated differently. And
Yeah,
yet you
just
have
a
a senior accountant and a head of what? Accounts. Whom I'm told is now a lawyer.
Honorable Chair, in the treatment of accounts, let me ask my people to come to me on that issue.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we are normally guided on how to treat items in accounts by the Accountant General. And in this respect, we actually have the financial reporting guide, which was issued by Accountant General. And we followed that to the letter, whereby if you look at, I'm largely talking about the items of accounts which remain as a liability to us.
Accounting officer.
The guidance requires us to treat whatever we get from Accountant General as AIA, as revenue and liability. When we collect money, we pay back. We reduce on the liability. But at the end of the year, like the accounting officer explained, due to the challenges of collecting revenue, we may not collect all that is advanced to us. And therefore, at the end of the year, we reflect advances in our accounts, which we record and carry forward to the following financial year. And the following financial year, we continue with the recovery. So, Chairman, that is how we have treated this particular item in the account.
Just help us to understand. They gave you money.
Yes.
You never paid for it all. First of all, it was cash. So you debited the cash. You credited liability.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
You collected more. You paid some to treasury. At the end of the year, when you pay, it reduces your credit with treasury.
Yes.
So what is the problem which you want to understand? Where did you put it that the Auditor General never saw it? That's all we want to know.
If you see the figures in the statement of changes in equity, because the accounting treatment relating to, first I will begin with 1.491 billion 883,230. This was a liability that remained outstanding in the previous financial year, which was paid during the year. And the accounting treatment is debiting the accountable advance and crediting transfers to treasury, which means
is debiting what?
Accountable advance or the liability and crediting transfers to treasury. If you open that accountant's guide, paragraph I think 7.5, the accounting treatment is there, meaning that it should not be in this statement of changes in equity. Then with regard to the excess utilization of 1,797,000,000,
it shows that the accounting entries, if you spend more than what you have transferred to Treasury, is to debit transfers from the Treasury and crediting the accountable advance. At least you debited the transfers from Treasury, because when you look in performance, it is less by that 1.797, but instead of crediting accountable advance, you brought it in the statement of changes in equity.
Head of accounts, this is the first accountability we're seeing in this form. Huh? Are you different from other entities? So if you are not, okay. We want to look at 2019. On page 8, you have 1.797 billion. True? What does it mean? This is the money you received in AI and remained outstanding. Isn't it? Let us go to page 28. You are there. Payables page number not 24. Have you seen? Is there a difference with that figure? Down there, the last one is the same. Giving how much? 5.752. Huh? So it means if this is payable, we go to the payables in the balance sheet on page 8. It is there. Are you seeing it? There's 5.7. So why should we have it up here and have it down? Put on the microphone. We need to deal with that.
The upper one, we are dealing with statement of financial position.
No. You see, this statement of financial position, assets and liabilities must be equal. On one side, you have put liabilities twice. Are you getting it? You have put it up here in payables. You have put it down here in statement of. I don't know if you are seeing it. In my simple accounts I did in S4, you cannot have two credits and then the thing balances. If it was here only and not up, I would give you a tick. I don't know what agent you are saying. And what agent, I think you raised the wrong question. You raised that you have deducted it twice. I didn't. In the report, you should have said. I don't want to go further. You have understood. No, I think you people, you, the head of accounts and senior accountant, have you seen 1.7 is here? Again, it is here. It means 1.7 has been recognized twice on one side in the balance sheet. This statement of financial position is the balance sheet for us, how they taught us in our rudimentary method. And the question will be, how did it balance?
Yeah, I can see with
and double counting on one side. If there was double counting on this side and there's also double counting on this side, it would balance. But it's double counting on one side. And it balances. It's like you're saying 10 kilograms on this side and a 0 here, and it balances. I don't know which way scale is that one.
the statement of changes in equity is actually largely looking at
It's net worth.
the net worth of the organization.
And net worth of an organization has liabilities on its side. You are aware?
Yes.
You have
Yes,
liability,
asset.
okay, share capital, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Liabilities, both long term and short term.
Yeah.
Retained earnings. That's how they used to teach me no level.
Exactly.
Now here, on one side, you have it twice. Have you seen? Otter General, are you seeing it? I don't know if I'm...
Yes,
Sam Mercy, are you seeing it? So how do we exit? BB, how do we exit? You know, we like you by calling you BB. Whenever you come to Mulago, they say we're looking for BB. Even a kid knows the BB. A very good man, eh?
So I thank you very much for that guidance, but for the guidance of the my experts will guide me as you guide me under the Auditor General on how to handle it, but we are trying our best to handle this one.
No, we have no problem by the way.
So we
and you know why we have no problem? For us, we are ready to guide you. The only problem we want your help is that can the Auditor General, is the staff, what do you want to propose? Because we're not looking for faults. Oh, you can discuss, we can give you a few minutes, you discuss among yourself.
I think you will give us an opportunity.
No, if it is in the guidelines, it's okay. If it is in the guidelines, it's okay. Show us.
Honorable Chairperson, thank you so much.
It's speaking later, you come further again.
Thank you so much for the guidance. This issue has always come up from the last 2 or 3 years, from the time AIA was introduced. Accountant General keeps on giving us guidance from time to time. For that particular financial year, we had the guidance, which is here written. We can hand it, pass it over.
You read it for us.
And we can, it is page 52.
It says what?
Page 52 in particular says appropriation in aid over expenditure. With the appropriation in aid operations, the total expenditure should not exceed amounts of revenue remitted to the UCF. In case it happens, the variances should be recognized as follows. You debit the revenue, then you credit the liability.
Good, stop there.
Now let me continue.
It means it's the excess. It's like now, you came, I gave you 1 million. You collected and paid me 800,000. The balance of 200 will be revenue, but you record as me and as a liability of what? 200. That's what it says.
Very good.
So go ahead now.
For our case.
Go ahead. No, we'll go ahead now.
For our case, I would want to explain that the 1.7. The 1.7 was in relationship to the excess, whereby we debited the revenue and credited the liability.
That's good. That's why you get it.
Honorable Chairperson, I want to take you straight to
No, let us deal with that. That means you go to note 24.
I wanted to guide.
Yeah, okay,
to guide. On page 7, if we look at page 7, note 4, the revenue we have.
Page 7 what?
Page 7 on the financial statement.
Yes. This one?
Yes. On page 7, on note 4, you realize that the revenue is 62 million. 62 billion, sorry. You also realize that on the cash flow, on the revenue, it is 64 billion. Oh, that is page 9.
64, yes.
Yes. These are two financial statements. Now, the issue always comes in. If we have reduced revenue by debiting it, it means it goes to 62. That's a difference of 1.9 billion, 1.7 billion. wherever it is. That's the difference. So, in one statement, we have revenue less by 1.79 billion, which comes by crediting revenue and debiting liability as per this. So already from this guidance, you can see the two statements already will bring disparities. Because the revenue you record, once you immediately you debit the revenue, it means you are reducing it. Immediately you debit the revenue, it means you are reducing it.
Yes, that's true.
That's
true. But the
So,
credit
the credit
entry
the
is
credit-
in payables. The credit entry is in note 24.
Yes, the credit.
Not under the statement of, not in the reserves, not under
Can't
the
be in the
statement
reserve.
of changes in the equity.
Honorable Chairperson, every entry you do in accounts from journal level to trial balance, whenever you affect the trial balance, it means you are going to affect the financial statements, and these financial statements is the statement of comprehensive income, cash flow, and position. So long as we agree from the beginning that the accounting entries are right of crediting and debiting, it means we are changing the trial balance, and it means the financial statements will be affected. So those are the discrepancies which come up, and therefore they affect the statement of equity. So the problem starts with the guidance we have here of crediting and debiting. So long as you affect the trial balance, Honorable Chairperson, you have to affect the financial statements.
Maybe Honorable Chair, those two explanations are one about the debit.
Yes.
The credit in the payables is under note 24 in the statement of financial position. That's why Chair was saying the credit, the entry should only be in note 24, not down under the statement of changes in equity under reserves. So when you reduce the other revenue, you increase your payables in note 24. But when you show that in the statement of financial performance, you reduce the receipts from the treasury, as can be evidenced by the amounts in the cash flow, you are still on the debit side. The credit side has not yet been entered under note 24. And once you enter it under note 24, you don't again enter it in the statement of changes in equity.
That is true, Honorable Chairperson, but so long as you have followed the principles of accounts, whereby whatever journal you change and affects the trial balance, it means you have to move it through to the financial statement. You cannot agree to do debit and credit entries at the beginning. Then you reach ahead and you say that again you only capture one side. Once immediately you agree to follow these principles of that you are going to credit revenue and going to debit this, it means you have to go with it throughout.
No, but I think what you are raising, Ota General, what I hear from him, he said when you start from principle number one.
Yes, principle number one.
That the excess of what you have refunded will be part of, you credit it on revenue. Are you getting it? Assuming his right money was, they were supposed to give him 10 billion. They lent him 3 billion. He paid 2 billion. A balance of 1 billion is the one he adds on the 10 billion to get 11 billion, which is rightly, I think, in the cash flow.
Yes.
This is okay.
Yes, that's okay.
Now, when you go the cash flow, you should now go up to the end. In the cash flow up to the end. And when you go to the cash flow up to the end, you discover, I get what I'm trying to say, that the net at the end would have taken care of the net worth which you are talking about.
So we got that issue.
Maybe, Mr. Chair, when you make a double entry, again you don't make an adjustment.
You don't. That's where now we're going. Now we're going to get it. We're going to get it. So go ahead now.
So for us, how we did, we used the guidance from the Accountant General, which is here. However, as time has gone, for example, this financial year, the basis of accounts has changed because of what the Auditor General queried, and in particular, this same issue. That's the reason why this financial year we are now changing to modified accrual basis, because of the disadvantages which and the
you're not going to add accrual basis.
we are using
The man
modified
gave you
accrual.
cash. Cash cannot be accrual. It was cash. If you don't pay him, it is a payable, which you have treated very well under note 20 what? 24. So when you have treated under 24, our query is, having recognized it as a payable, the balance, why are you again putting it in the net what? Net what? That's where the whole problem is coming from. And that's where you must only answer and we move on. Yes.
Honorable Chairperson, as you see, the debits and credits from the beginning, we had to follow them as per guidance of Accountant General, and at the end, we couldn't leave them. That's the reason for the discrepancy. However, we have had consultations with the Accountant General's office, and all these have been taken in charge of financial year. However, issues of treatment of accounts, of course, are subjective.
Frederick, come in.
Chair, I think Moas has understood what we are raising. You're trying to redirect this to the Accountant General. So to you, it is a guidelines problem, is it? So maybe we should have this reharmonized with Accountant General, because if we cannot reconcile this now, Chair, let's give Mwasa time to sort out that.
I didn't Mwasa ask, because as far as we're concerned,
Let's give him time to.
Bibi, sorry to call you Bibi, because accounting officer. The issue here is, you got money from Accountant General as advance. Are we together? At the end of the financial year, you had paid, but there was still a balance of 1.7, which is on page, the one where the note 24, which is page 28, note 24. Are we together? So you had a balance of 1.7. You really reflected it. You say, I have your debt of 1.7. So you added on your own debts and you came to 5 points. And you took it very well in the balance sheet on page what? 8, which is up here, note 24. You have seen it. Now, the problem is, having done it so successful here, now you are coming down, down. You see, again, 1.79. The question is we're raising, which Mase must answer. How do you put 10 kilos on this side and it balances with 0? That's what we're saying. And he's saying it was the treatment of the Accountant General. Now, as far as the committee is concerned, it looks there's some mechanical balancing, which we want the assistance. Yes.
Honorable Chairperson, if you look still on page 7 and page 8, what if we hadn't followed this? The effect of the last figure on on page 7 of 1.2 would have included 1.7 billion, and therefore it couldn't have been shown on page 8.
That's why I was looking at two figures.
Yes.
I was going to
so
come to
if we had put it that side,
that's why I was looking at two figures. Exactly. I was saying the transfer from Treasury here is 62.6. Yes. While here it is the 64.4.
Reason being?
No. The transfer to Treasury must include even what you have been given as a debt. And that's why I was coming to you now.
Yes.
If it was here, I am sure it would not be here.
Yes, that's true. Honorable Chairperson. Absolutely true.
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
Now, the question comes, why this adjustment of 1.4?
Very good. Because of crediting the revenue. When you debit a revenue, you reduce the revenue.
No. If it is here now as a positive, in the previous year it should be negative. Are you getting it? So that's why I was coming for you. I was saying, go and look this and this. But now, there is an adjustment of 1.4. For it to be positive here, in the previous it must have been what? Negative. So now, escape there.
Escapes? Honorable Chairperson, still?
No, we're going by that principle. In fact, this 1.7 here, in this year, it will be positive. Are you getting it? This year it will be what? Positive. Now here you are bring 1.49 billion. Why is it not here as negative?
Because Honorable Chairperson, we put it in the cash flow.
Yes, we're going
on page 9.
Yes, we go there.
You can go on page 9. You will see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that is the effect for it.
No, it has not perfect. Why are you doing adjustment here?
Because if you didn't...
Here you are saying you are adding it.
Because if you didn't include it in the cash flow on page 9, it means here it wouldn't have been shown. But for disclosure purposes, we have to show it in the cash flow. If you see the template, we have net advances paid. So long as you show it in the cash flow here, it will go and affect you the other side, Honorable Chairperson. So all these pages, page 7, page 8, page 9, the decision you take from the beginning, from the first entry of debit and credit you take, so long as you agree with the first debit and credit you take from the beginning of the journal up to fair balance, it will affect you across. So we start with the first decision at the beginning. Do you do the journal or not? If you do it, it will cut across and you have to be consistent. Otherwise, if I credit and debit, then I reach in between, I don't show it, then the principles of accounting now.
But Master, yes. I am very serious asking this. Okay, let us go to page 7.
Yes.
Last year was what? The treasury transfers, which included the liability, was how much?
68.
Because I want us to hold page 7, page 8, page 20 what? Page 28. I think as we used to do in the primary. You have seen. Where is there, what was the transfer? How much? You see it, your boss. How much?
Transfer on page 7.
I want to put the microphone. Maybe what was the transfer last year?
Last year on the transfer on page 7 to 68.
To 68.
68 billion.
Go to page 9.
Page 9.
What was the transfer?
68.
68.
Yes.
Go to page 24.
Can I interject?
Page 20.
Can I interject a little bit? Can we compare page 7 and page 9 on the transfer and the net advances paid for both years? You discover that in the other financial we didn't capture it.
No, but let us deal with that first. Then we shall come back. No, let us deal. Where's the net advance you're talking about?
Somewhere there are net advances paid.
It's 0.
Yes, and that's the reason
No,
why we have this.
no. And that's why you are going to give because you listen, and you have made even it worse. You have seen net advance paid again. You look there.
To a 0.
Eh? Have you seen? You have put here 1.4.
Yes.
What you are saying? 1.4. You are going at the next page. You are adjusting it. 1.4. Page 10, 11. What is the effect there? Because that's the same cash flow running through.
Yes.
What is that? You are the one who sent us there yourself. Members, are you seeing? Net effect. Where the guys in net effect?
Chair was requesting that Mwasa
No, let us go through. Let us now go through to take 11. You have seen it. 1.49. You go to take 28. It is there. 1.49. So what I mean?
Honorable Chairperson, we are meaning that the previous year we didn't show it. And then this financial year in particular, when we showed it, that is the impact of the treatment. The previous year, we didn't show it in the cash flow, we didn't credit it, we didn't debit the revenue.
No.
In 2018.
If you are saying negative here and a positive here, what's the effect? What's the effect? Zero. In short, this way and this way has no effect. I don't know if you're saying it much.
We are saying it.
We're about to buy the one of 2018-19, but it has a reflection. That's why I was saying, compare this. So now, JB, let me also explain in my lay mother language. On page 28, you have seen 1.494. Now it means your total outstanding was 4.26, had a balance of advance of 1.4 which you are not paid. Are you getting it? Now it is on page 8. On page 8, you have seen the payables is 4.26 billion. I think it. Now, if we want to buy what Marcel was saying, on page 7, he's saying in 2018-19, it is 62 billion. But in the cash flow, on page 9, it's 64.4. He says that has 1.7. Are you saying it? Now we said, okay, we are good. But now why are you adjusting 1.49 here? Now we go to him. What was in 68 is 2018. Have you seen? It's 68.3. Go to page 9. It is 68.3. So if he was following the same principle, this would have been 68.3. This one here should have been less this value. Are you getting it? Now we said if that was a principle, that I would have applied. Now, why are you doing it now this year? Now he told us himself to look at page 9. If you look at page 9, net advances paid in appropriation 2017-18 is 1.49. Yeah? Are you there, JB? He goes further on page 11. He's saying, no, that was minus, now this is a plus. 1.49. Effect is what? 0. So if the effect is 0, why do you come now and do the adjustment? Because we have now followed this principle of the book. Oh no, Engineer Mas was his father. What again? If you go by that principle, we may have debted, we may have treated this, but as long as it balances, but now what we have to do is that what are the relations with the president? Need a few minutes. Give me a must throw some must.
Chair, I want to take note that.
You want what?
I take notice that this is the basis of qualification, and we want to concede. But I think what is important is that we need to get back, review our statements, And if allowed, we can do the necessary adjustments. But we want to assure the committee that we do account for each and every money we receive.
No, we have no problem there, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
I want you to take from us.
Yeah.
We're not looking for fault. When we saw 62 here and 64, we agreed.
Yeah.
We agreed. Then we said, if that's the case, it must apply to the previous year. Because now that's why we're saying, okay, if it was 66, it would be here, this would not be here.
Yeah.
Now, we go to last year. We're saying now, but last year it's not the same. But how did it balance now? Why are you bringing figures of last year in 2019? Now, that's what we're saying. This thing has been done mechanically. We have forgotten of 1.7, but we are now on 1.49 billion.
We take note of that.
No, it is not the book anymore.
Yeah.
Even if you go by the book,
Yeah.
are you getting it?
Yes.
Even if you go by the book, what the book is saying is right.
Chair, this book was revised in 2018, and our understanding was that the treatment as guided by the Accountant General would require us to treat this figure right from the beginning up to the end of the statement.
In 2018, you did it right. Let us explain. You got a difference. You got the net after paying back as 68.3. You also put it in your page 7 on revenue received at 68.3. That's why on 218 there are no adjustments. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Are we together? Now in 2019 is where you're having a problem.
Yeah.
And we're saying if you put 62, you change it to 64.4. This 1.7 will go out. What the problem will be is the 1.49 billion. That's what we're saying. You did it right last year. Why are you bringing the figures of last year in this?
Chair, our interpretation of...
I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
We understood it. Yeah.
You understood? And we're saying, why you bring them and how can it balance? That's the question. That's where my worry is, that this book we are reading, 10 kilos here balancing with 0 kilos.
Yeah, Pastor, take note of that.
Chair, we take note of that, and we beg for some time to harmonize with on this issue with the Auditor General.
No, not Auditor General. You don't need to go to the Auditor General, baby. You want me to repeat? Last year, you had 68.3 billion.
Yes.
Of that, you had an excess which you had not refunded of 1.491 billion.
Yes.
Are you together?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, this following year, you are changing and bringing a figure which has been accounted in the previous year. Again, you are adjusting it in 2019. That's where the problem is coming. And they were saying, how does it balance? You don't need to go to the Auditor General. You don't need to go to the Accountant General. We need to do the issues between here. In short, we have changed. The question is, how did you get 1.491 billion on this side? That's the question we have changed with Auditor General. Is that okay? So, we are saying, one, the accounting officer should explain how the accounts balanced with adjustment to cash of shillings 1.491883,239 which was recognized in 2018, in 2017-18. I'll give you, how many days you want? 2 days? Yeah, put on your, not the microphone, not the put on your microphone. I told you,
2 days.
I'm going to put a rubber stamp, rubber there so that you don't press it until you go home.
Yes, 2 days.
2 days.
2 days.
Sure, JB?
Yes.
No, BB, sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the other one, so that we finish that cash. Now what is this adjustment of 103 on page 11 of cash?
That's on page
11.
On page 11.
The mayor who doesn't want me to have to call his name.
Page 1.03.
1.3.
They are lawyers we pay. Page 28.
Have you seen 123?
Page 28.
We go to page 28.
That's what I'm being told where it is. But we paid 1.103 to the lawyers. That was money paid to the lawyers, the law firm. I think it's settled.
Sorry? Court case. But it's here as a payable. You see, 103 can be more than one. This one here, it is saying it is a date. And you see 5.72, if we got the balance sheet on page 8, sum, it is 5.72. That means the 103 is inclusive. It's not paid. So the other one you're taking us on page 35 does not apply to this one.
Mr. Chair, instead of putting it under payment, they put it under adjustment, but it is reducing. The mistake they made is to put it under adjustment instead of under domestic carriers paid.
What is it? Where is it? Adjustment where?
If you go to page 35. Page 35. They put it under adjustment, but it was actually paid. It should have been.
What they are doing here, they are right. They are saying this one was not known last year. Now they have known it. Most like it was a contingent liability. Are you getting it? So you get this added.
If you add it, you can't get the closing balance. You can only get this closing balance if you subtract it.
No, you'll get. Get me. You'll get. You get this plus this minus what is paid. Then you add on the new outstanding. You get it. Yeah.
You will not get it.
My peer add. Let me also dispute the other. You will get it. Is it a minus or is it a plus? Head of accounts. This one, 2106, is a minus. Yeah.
What happened, sir?
In this adjustment, yes.
Yeah. What happened is that we paid an arrears out of our current resources. There was no specific provision for arrears for the quarter one. So from our current resources, we made this payment. And that's what.
Now you're jumping in another horse.
No, it's not the revised.
You are seeing what is coming now. They said they made an adjustment, then after making an adjustment, then they pay. You look through, is it true?
No. I think it's adding. You will clearly see that if you take the 2.6 billion minus 103 minus 2046 billion plus 335, that's when you get the closing balance.
Yeah.
So you are making this negative.
Yeah.
Actually, the 2046 and 103 are negative. And it will,
How?
It will
Adjustment, prior adjustment, negative. It means here you are reducing your debt.
That's why I said they actually made a payment, and they should not have put it under adjustment, but it should have been added to prior year commitments paid during the year. You will see it later affecting the cash flow.
We could have lumped them together. And prior years commitments. Yeah. And we still get the same level.
Yes, but they are in different columns. That's the challenge. That's why it's confusing.
Yes, that is true. And also, if you wrap them together, you'll get problems on page 9 on the cash flow, whereby the domestic areas paid during the year will not be equal to that statement. That's why it has to be separated.
So if the domestic area paid is 2.4, so where did you pay that one from? Auditor General.
It came from my ATM.
You don't have to do an adjustment on cash. It should be a payment, if it is. And if it's a payment, what it will mean, this plus this, then this payable should be this plus that. Why did you do that? You are trying to hide something.
So,
Accounting officer, let us explain. 103 was a debt which you incurred.
Yes.
So it must be added on debts first. Are you hearing, Auditor General? It must be added on debts first. Having added on debts, then it must be paid. And when you pay, you adjust payments on the debt of liability that were paid this and this outstanding. Now, why do you do it this way? What were you hiding? Why do you do it on adjustment on cash so that it doesn't look like a payment? Here it looks like a prior adjustment. Why? What were you hiding?
I think we had, Honorable Chair, with due respect to it, we had nothing really to hide. Because this was really a court award, and we could not do without really doing that.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's what we're saying. Why a court award? Why should it be an adjustment on cash, not a payment? That's what we were trying to find out. What were you hiding?
I would refer to my technocrats on how it was done, but it was really nothing to hide in this case. It was really straight and nothing to hide.
Given this scenario, there's a problem to this account. And the last time we warned you, why did you go to change? What again? Is there a way out to exit here? This one, for me.
As the chair, I told you that it is in a wrong column. It was an actual payment. And later, when we go to the cash flow, you will see how it comes in.
No, where is it now? If it's a payment,
it should, in the cash flow, it should have been added to the 2,046,851,945, so that domestic areas paid during the year are around 2.1 billion.
No. You guys, this thing is not removed from the balance sheet. It's there. Page 28. If it was paid, then the liability would be less. See? Are we together? Page number not 24.
Okay.
It is there. It's part of the liability. It's there. What are you not seeing it? It's up there. 103 is there. What are you know? You see it? You have seen it? Up there, number sundry creditors court case.
We have to know how this note comes from this statement of outstanding commitments.
Exactly, and that's why here, as you are saying it, 103 is still outstanding.
Yeah, it is still appearing there, but now if you go to the statement of outstanding commitment, it is paid. It shows that, whether it was paid or adjusted, it shows that it's not there in the statement of outstanding commitment. So we need to understand how
but Dr. General, how do you understand when we have note 24 explaining how you understand? What's the problem? It is figure here. It means it's not yet paid, the JP. It's not a BB. The figure is not paid. While here you are saying you are paid. Here it is an adjustment. I think there's a problem. Head of accounts, help us. Help us and we'll help all of us. Your microphone is on.
My observation, sir, is that again we could have treated this wrongly in the accounts. We need to go back and review the treatment, but sincerely, this was a liability, a court case, a cut award, which was not specifically provided for in the budget and arrears. So when we paid it from the relevant line items, in our judgment, it was going to affect arrears. First of all, we needed to recognize the arrears and then remove the arrears. But I think when we came to the treatment in the books, we were reflecting it as an adjustment because specifically, or because it's an arrears. That was what was in our mind. But now, with the benefit of your guidance and the discussions that we have had here, I think we can still go back and rectify this.
We don't want you to go back to rectify what you don't understand. What we want to explain to you, under page 28, first of all, a quarter award is a quarter award. You must pay it. And a quarter, you don't need it. If it was ruled in that year, and they were about to come and take a BB, he has to pay it. Now here, on page 28, you are clearly stating sundry creditor court case pending. And in 5.752, on the other side, which is in the balance sheet, it is there. That's our argument was saying. Now the question you are saying, that money you paid. That means if you paid, then the payables is less by 103. Now, if it's less by 103, how did then the accounts balance? That's where the question is. That's all,
Chair, that question will continue to be difficult because the facts are clear. Here, what we are saying is if that adjustment was to be made, the total payables should have also been less by that. So that where this puts us is this continues to be a liability being carried forward. So it means tomorrow you will continue to be paying that very liability. So it would be convenient if you requested to go and harmonize on this such that we can be at par. You've made the payment, yes, but it is still pending as one of the payments you are yet to again what? Make. That's what it is telling us, of course. Maybe you just needed to read this very fast and recognize that you need to go and reconcile with your house and see how to put this.
Thank you very much, Chair. As guided by the honorable member, would give us a chance when we come back in 2 days to harmonize the other one. We will also have reconciled this and harmonized it very well. I thank you very much.
Why we're having a problem. You know, we like you so much. That's why you see us smiling with you. You're always there for us in the hospital. You are not a big man who hides when patients are. You know why I met you one time on the ward? They said that's the executive director of the hospital. I was impressed.
Yes, sir.
So, the story here is you paid 103.
Yes.
First of all, the 1.49 billion. Now here you paid 103. It means you reduced your cash. But at the same time, it is appearing that you have not what? Paid. Now what it means is, there is again 0 here, and there is 103, but the scale is what? Balancing. So we're getting...
I think, Chair, the problem could be in the figures, but we really paid. So give us...
No, that's true.
Yes, give us...
We have agreed you paid.
Yes.
What it means is, when you paid, then it should not appear on page 20 before the 5.72 billion, which appears on page 8.
I concur with you, Chair.
Yeah. So now our worry is that we're now hit a hard rock. We've got 2 scenarios: 1049, not by, and the other side 103. So, Sam, what's your problem? Is there a problem in accounts, capacity building, head of accounts? Do you really concentrate?
We do.
We do, but when it comes...
We must accept that the way we treat the items probably is not...
Forget it. Let us leave peg 35. Let us deal with peg 28. Have you seen net 24?
Yeah, I've seen.
What is that 103? Is it any different with the one on peg... where did we get? On page 11? Is there any different? Is there any difference?
That is not the same. This is not the same. It's 103. Huh? So are we reducing this?
Arnold, is there any difference in those two figures?
Thank you, Chair. Of course, there is an issue, but I think we should give them some time to get their numbers together.
Head of accounts, One, you adjusted the cash. Instead of saying a payment, we're saying that's number one. That's an error. And it's a fundamental error in accounts. You can't adjust. It's either payment or there's cash. Am I wrong, Auditor General? Now that's number one. Now having adjusted, that means you are paid. You want to assume you are paid. We now want to forget about English. Why would you record it again as a payable, which you take to the balance sheet? And when you take in the balance sheet, it balances. So where is the corresponding 103.8? Just show us. You're the one who destroys the name of BB. But now we're not going to allow you to go today without telling us where the corresponding 103. Yes. Sam, where is it? JB, do you think we can continue? No, BB, sorry. I don't know why I call it JB.
Honorable Chair, I beg for 2 days so that we can go and adjust.
You look for it. You go and look for it. You look for 1.49, you look for 103. I think the next query is going to be a big problem to us. We need to have to stop here. Or you want to continue?
Give us a chance to go and see in our figures where this one is, and then we can come back, Honorable Chair.
We want to also allow you to write this down. We want you to go and look at uniform and the medicine and the stationery. Uniform, stationery. The stationery we use for, not the one of exercise books, the one of medical, the one you get from NMS.
Yes, sir.
Uniform, stationery, and drugs. Do you get drugs from NMS?
Yes, sir.
We want you to go and look at from 20. We want first of all, what was your work plan for drugs in 2016-17, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20? Altogether, your work plan.
Yes.
Did you also have a work plan for uniform?
The uniform they give us, but we cannot know when it is coming.
You don't know. They don't come and measure you.
You
don't put in an order.
The order, you cannot put in an order when you don't know, because uniform is not a medicine which you get every month or every year. It comes once in a while. And once it is coming, the Ministry of Health will tell us that there will be distribution of uniforms. So uniforms are usually small, medium, and large. So they don't come.
Even those big nurses, they just bring light without bring extra light.
They don't come to measure individuals.
They don't?
No.
Okay. So now we have given you those items.
Mr. Chairman, supposing you only have small ladies, how do they get to know the sizes they are sending? Do they just send in whatever size?
Honorable Chair, when the time for uniform comes, we are requested to give in the sizes of people. And the sizes of people go in as people are small, medium, and large, just as you have got shirts.
Then that is the measurement.
Yes.
Because when I go to
yes, so
when I go to the mall to buy my dress, they will not measure me.
Yes.
But I will find my size.
For she is size 42.
That is exactly what we do. We give in, they tell us their sizes, that size which corresponds to small, medium, and large, and then people go and give us those uniforms. Sometimes when we get these uniforms, you may not get your size. You may have to make it a little smaller, or a little bigger, a little longer, or a little shorter. Those ones do happen. Yes,
Adding another piece of cloth.
I think some time back I saw some people who had some uniforms added something down. Those were a little shorter, but
That's maybe for you.
yes, there were those.
No, but Mr. Chairman, on a serious note, if you give me a dress,
yes,
which is standard,
yes,
short, and I'm tall, where do I get that other piece to add on?
When we don't have that uniform for you, the size for you, those dresses go back, and you could see some time back that they had added something, and those dresses were rejected. Some of them were rejected, but all in all, is that the uniforms come almost in 3 sizes: the small ones, the medium, and the large. In the sizes of the ladies, who are actually the majority of the nurses, they lie within those sizes. There are those who are size like 40, from 39 to 40 something as medium. Then there are those who are large, and that's how we get them.
You don't get extra large?
Also, the extra larges exist, but those ones get a uniform a little later because they are bigger. They get the uniforms later. But what we are suggesting in uniforms, if we had somebody who sits there, measures a person, and does the things there, that would be much fairer than when it is produced in a mass, because we are not really the same. Yes.
That's why we're trying to find out about the uniform. We want to know the uniform we got, which is that one we added on a piece down, the one we reduced. The reason we're trying to say that there are stations where they bring uniforms when there are no people. There was a health center for where they took OPPDA, or is it orthopedic coats, 6, when in their life they had never had an orthopedician. Then we said, how do you take 6 uniforms in an area where there's no orthopedician? 2, and that came because there was pressure from this committee about uniforms. So now, but we had reached uniform, stationery, and the drugs. So we want you to go, and for the drugs you have a work plan.
Yes.
It's only uniform, you don't have a work plan.
Yes.
So you tell us how many uniforms you received. Of course, there will be a delivery.
Yes.
No, that's it. They bring for them, yes.
You see, there is
Bringing is one thing, and bringing
Put
what
on
I
the
want.
chair, put on the microphone.
Mr. Chairman, bringing is one thing, and bringing what I want is another. Because the way you are telling us is like you are now having a dumping ground. What they don't want is what they bring to you.
See, Chair, I beg to be corrected. Sure, I didn't say that we are a dumping ground. I said the uniforms are not constantly supplied. First statement. Second statement, the uniforms, people don't come and measure us, the health workers, and then make them tailored to us. So the uniforms, I said again, are like in three categories. Even when we give in the sizes, the uniform remains in 3 categories: the small, the medium, and the large, and maybe the extra large. Now, when a uniform comes and you are not fitting in, you can tailor it to your size, and that's one. And that's why we wanted to have uniforms with the names, and this we have not been able to achieve it very well. You see, in police, they have uniform which have got the names. I think for them probably, because I'm not sure, they measure them. But for us, we don't have the names, so that to say this uniform is made for PP. Yes, because
still that is where you have a problem. Because if you have small, 5 people, you would say that we need 5 small, 2 medium, 10 large, or maybe 20 extra large, so that you don't have to adjust the uniforms. Because if they bring small, it means you'll get other pieces of cloth to add on so that you get a bigger size.
See, in the sizes of women, Chair, in the sizes of women, I am told there is it is like still small, medium, and large. Maybe I would get a nurse to explain this.
So you don't know women.
You are
No, he knows. He's a gynecologist.
I may not be. So in the size of women, there is like small, large, and medium, and extra large in the sizes of ladies. So this is exactly when we request. You request in their sizes, which could be like say 15 to 17 are this number, this to this are this number. But even the people who are medium, if they are medium 39, 30, for example 39, there could be this number, 40 could be this. It is difficult. It is difficult to tailor it to a person when you are producing in a mass. It is much easier and good if the uniforms were measured at the source and made there. It would be much, much better.
You know, like when we're in primary,
yes,
even secondary, there will be a tailor who comes with a rope for us, take measurements, and they will bring exact shirt even with your name.
Yes. That's what we would really wish to have, so that people are measured and it is made for W and not for Z.
I recall my shirt had my name because we were small one would put off our shirts to play, so to avoid it getting lost. Anyway, let us move on. We are saying we need you to give us the deliveries.
Yes, sir.
Of uniform and stationery. Then medicine, we have seen here medicine, which was going to be 5.2. You have expired drugs, and it is basically on page 12. There was what we are saying it was a push down. Now we're now working on medicine. So 2016 up to date, we're now looking at what were the deliveries? Were they as per your work plan? Are you getting us?
Yes, sir.
I hope you are recording.
Yes, I'm recording, sir. I have them.
The deliveries, are they as per your work plan? If the work plan, if there were no drugs which you had planned for, were they giving you money to buy elsewhere? Were they giving you money or no?
No.
No. So what happens if there is no drug which is in your work plan? What happens to that money? And the 3, this push down, you should also illustrate, because the expiry was a result of push down. So now those drugs of yours will have delivery notes. You understand?
Yes.
You attach the delivery notes. And the delivery note, we are told, it has the date of manufacture and the date of what? Expiry. True?
Yes.
Does it have?
Yes.
We're interested in drugs. We want to know why they stock out of drugs in what? In Mulago. We want to know why should drugs expire in Mulago? And yet Mulago would be the one to consume all.
Drugs.
Yeah, you should add on my name.
Now, this current period of COVID,
yes,
how do you get drugs? And what drugs do you get for COVID?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. In this period of COVID, actually, that's why what I was going to say as part of the expiries, why some of the drugs have to expire. Some of the drugs have to expire when there is a change in the disease pattern. Because you anticipated that you will get, for example, this financial year, about 200 patients of diabetes. And let's say COVID has come, those 200 patients are not available. Now, what happens to the drugs that you received? It means this year, they are not going, those people now that they are not available, the drugs are going to expire. If, for example, we rushed to buy hydroxychloroquine, as initially it was said that this was a drug that could be used in the treatment of COVID, and then later on it was found that maybe this drug cannot do anything, where would you put the drug? You would be having it. So some of the drugs, in other words, some of the drugs expire because of the change in the disease pattern. In that way, the drugs expire. Now, during COVID now, we get the drugs because we have got the Directorate of Pediatrics and the Directorate of Surgery. We get the drugs geared to saving lives in pediatrics and in surgery, and also the ones that the patients who have got COVID, especially those who have got existing other diseases like high blood pressure and diabetes, actually need. So we ask national medical stores and they give us those drugs and we give them to the patients. But there is no specific drug that is being used to treat COVID per se at the moment.
So who are these who are getting better? What are they eating? So that we advise the others to eat.
In the patients we are getting for COVID, I could classify them to be in three categories. The first category is like me and you. I am sorry to use you as an example.
It's okay.
I'm very sorry. Yes. Now, health workers go and say, now that we are screening members of parliament, people from police, people from cabinet, and also finance. So when we screen, a person has no complaint and is found positive. He has not even headache or flu or cough. Has nothing. He's as normal as we are today. But then they say, because you are positive, you go to Mulago and be admitted. Such a person comes to Mulago and is admitted. He spends his 10 to 14 days and he is discharged. He goes back. Initially, we spent more than 14 days, but now we are spending 8. We take a first sample again to see whether you are positive. If you are negative, another sample is taken on the 10th day. If you are negative, we discharge. Now, we discharge, not giving you any specific drug. You go back. The second category is...
So that one, like me and you, when we are taken here, because now Bibi and Nandala, they know one another, we start playing Matat. You know Matat?
Yes. And Honorable Chair, you saw people in Masaka.
Dancing. They were
dancing, and even ours, it's only that they were not recorded. They could have really also danced, and if there was a football
pitch. Mayor, you saw your people dancing.
So some could have done it. So those ones had no problem, and it is as if they are confined without anything.
Mr. Chairman, my major concern.
The second category is that one of people who are diabetic or hypertensive or have any other disease in the body. But now that they have got COVID, they come to the hospital, they have got that challenge of an existing condition, medical condition. So those ones, although they may not have any complaint related to COVID, they may have a complaint related to their drugs. You have to get the drugs to stabilize their diabetes, their high blood pressure, and any other disease that may be there. It could be a pregnant woman who wants to go and deliver or have a seizure. Those ones we have also heard about them. So those ones are cared for in that form. The third one, there are also people who didn't have categories of other diseases, but somehow they have got flu or they have cough and chest pain. Those ones, when they come to the hospital, we again examine them, take their chest x-rays, and continue to treat them for what. If you have flu, we give you some drugs for flu. If you have got chest pain, we treat you for the chest pain, and quite often they all improve and go home. They improve on azithromycin, others are given zinc and vitamin C, and any other complaint that you may have, we handle it. Then there are those, a few who have come, to our knowledge now about 7, who have come, and they come when they have been in ICU elsewhere, or they require ICU. When they come, now these are really the people who should be coming to the national referral. They come, we take them to ICU and look after them from the ICU. A few, like two, who started with us died. Others came and died on arrival. But we have had about 7 again go through it without any major problem. So that is exactly what we are doing, and those are the patients we are getting. But if those who don't have any complaint were detached from us, would be handling fewer ones. But every patient who is there requires to eat, to drink, so there is a lot of consumables actually that they require.
Yeah, but Mr. Chairman, he's talking about people who have gone to hospital.
Yes.
Now, recently we had a serious lockdown. These people who have those chronic diseases, they were locked down, they couldn't move to get their drugs. You as scientists, what do you advise? Because there must be a solution. If there is a lockdown, what happens to these people who live on drugs, HIV, diabetes, pressure? What happens? Are you condemning them to lock them down so that they die quickly?
Honorable Chair, I beg that I make a summary of this, that obviously I also feel like other Ugandan that such a person is inconvenienced when there is a lockdown. Certainly they are inconvenienced, that is true. And allow me to leave it at that, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you. Now, that's why you are going to become a road mayor.
No, Mr. Chairman, it's not enough, because I think Ugandans need to hear what the doctors are recommending. Either they reach out, the doctors are allowed to go to wherever these people are locked up so that they get their drugs.
But
it is a serious thing.
Chair, let me ask you a question. There are thousands of them. How will one doctor run all over the country?
No, there are many doctors.
The best thing we should do, I think we should, that's why a country should have a mechanism. We used to have postal addresses, post office. What happens, they would, if I want to send a parcel to you, these people would be knowing that this one, his or her dose is about what? To expire. So what you do, you put it and send it by postal. That used to be happening.
The post office is now,
Are you sure?
It is now in
They wanted to close the post office. Yes, they wanted to close a post office in America. There was then they said, you close the post office, what is the substitute to postal address, postal services? And they left it. They are there. So if we have closed ours, we are unfortunate. But what we're trying to say, accounting officer, let us have these people. That's why when I come, you say, what's your name? Nandara. Where's your address? Samaga. How old? 55. Yeah? Do you have a next of kid? Don't you do like that? What's your telephone now? What is the purpose of that?
But you see, Honorable Chair, the National Referral Hospital, the catchment for the National Referral Hospital is the entire country. Somebody is referred from Guru or from Kabari, comes to Mulago Hospital, he's treated. When he's stable, then we refer him back to Guru to continue on that treatment, which is in Yara, or Kabari, which is in Yara. Now, if there is a lockdown and such a people don't come, definitely we know they are challenged wherever they are. Now, a few who keep coming for their drugs and they are very near, because when you are from Kabari or from Kotido, you wouldn't keep coming. You would wish to be referred back on treatment to the nearest health facility, normally a regional referral hospital, where you would continue being monitored and only come back when you have got other bigger challenge than that. But such a people, obviously they were challenged. They wouldn't come, and some of them would come actually when it is very late. So it becomes a challenge. Lockdown is a challenge for for the patients, certainly, especially when the public transport is cut off. Even as health workers, we found it very hard. Some had been locked where they were, and they couldn't come for duty. Others, if you are living in, for example, in Kagoma or in Mukono, and you are working in Mulago, and there is no public transport, what do? The ambulance or the system could not collect people from wherever they were. But thanks be to Parliament for giving us transport during the lockdown. Actually depended on some of the vehicles from Parliament. They were shuttling the health workers and other people who were allowed to work at that time. So Mulago, we also benefited from the minibuses. I think they are costers from Parliament that brought our health workers to work. The only problem was that they would first move around picking, and then
they are showing them Kampala.
Yes, and then people would sometimes report late. That was the only challenge. But otherwise, Parliament, the vehicle that came from here, did us a very good job, and we are very grateful.
But what was saying, accounting officer, if you know my address in Kotido, why don't you send the drugs I'm supposed to get to Kotido Health Center? Because there will be cars going there.
But Honorable Chair, during the lockdown, where would you get a car that was going to go especially to those border districts?
No, but you find a way. You see, there must be a mechanism. You see, let me tell you, this mechanism must exist. I come for medicine from Kotido. Why can't you send medicine to Kotido?
Chair, I beg that going forward, Mulago Hospital is going to work with you people, members of Parliament, and when we work with you, very fast and facilitate us, see to it that we have such transport which we can always send to
you say we have these people in Mbale.
Yes.
This is their doses. These are their names and what? Contacts. Where I'm going, I take them to Mbale Hospital. Mbale Hospital makes a phone call to those people. They can now send their children to walk from Ogudu. At least there it's nearer to walk than walking from here to.
I take your guidance when I was here.
No, but you must be creative. For me, I used to walk those years, 12 kilometers. No, 12 miles. 6 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, going to school.
Mr. Chairman, we want to assist Mulago Hospital because we are all victims. But each and every other day now, we hear cases are increasing. Cases of COVID.
Yes.
How prepared is Mulago Hospital to handle those increasing cases?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Mulago has the health workers, and we have got the building where we are, which is New Mulago. New Mulago is not complete for everybody, but we can have up to 900 beds for the COVID patients. The unfortunate thing is that Mulago Hospital did not get funds to handle the COVID patients. So we are using the funds of the financial year meant for all of the patients. Those who handle COVID patients, remember that the COVID patients eat much more in terms of food and drink much more than the normal patients, because the other the patients, for them they are sick, they have no appetite and so forth. But these other ones are normal people. They have all of the appetite. They need to be looked after. They need all of the meals, and they are demanding. And we are meeting different people, different nationalities. So people are demanding the food of their choice, because they are demanding chapati and demanding rice. There are people who want to eat only chicken, beef, and so forth. That is, they really want to eat pilau, which hitherto were never cooked at that time. The other challenge which we have is that the health workers that are managing the patients of COVID, actually we accommodate them we feed them, although here's the workers will get accommodated, but these ones must be nearer within the hospital confinement and must be fed. And they also demand meals. If you have 200 health workers, you are giving them breakfast, break tea, lunch, evening tea, and supper. You face it. And so you are doing it also to about now 280 patients. You face it because they want to eat very well and so forth. And remember, the things which we give them, we don't serve them using a normal cup like this, which I've been using, because it is going to be washed and used again by somebody maybe this afternoon or tomorrow. But for them, you have to get disposable containers, and that's exactly what we use. And all of that is really the budget. And yet the budget was not given to us. We don't have the budget. I don't know, because on vote 161, I did not see the money on vote 161, and you also recall that on vote 161, sincerely speaking, Parliament did not appropriate any money on that vote for COVID. Therefore, where the money is, I am not sure. I cannot answer for that one.
Chair. Chair, maybe finally.
How do you relate with the National Task Force?
We have no problem. We relate well.
Yeah? You relate well?
The National Task Force? We relate well.
So why don't they give you some money?
They only give us, they pay the health workers, these workers are paid in terms of allowances, and we get consumables. Yes.
What about the donations? They go to 54 billion. Did you get anything?
And the cars?
We have not gotten any vehicle. What we got in terms of donations were matoke. Yes, we got some matoke, we got some eggs, some rice, some milk, I recall. And that's mainly what we got in terms of those donations. And I think I got a few beds, about 100, and a few mattresses. Those ones I got. Yes, but we have not, others we didn't get. Maybe they are on the way, they are coming, only that they have been delayed.
Yes, Chair. I want to thank BB for that explanation. I know you also sit in the National Task Force, especially in terms of planning.
I don't sit there, sir, Honorable Chair.
But you sit in the technical level that helps guide in planning. I am saying this because I come from a district that is still closed up to now.
And why are you here?
And that's Tororo. So, as I speak to you, BB, I have patients who have been ferried from Tororo last week and brought up to Mulago. Mulago is very far. Now, since you've said, and these patients have told us that they are as healthy as we who are out here, and with this very good feeding that you are going to give them there, you might encourage many patients to request to be brought to Mulago. My request would be, one, we from the districts that are still closed are continuing to suffer in terms of economic aspects, and in terms of the day-to-day challenges where people are not very free. We would desire that the planning team gives us these referral facilities nearer there, so that patients are not moved here. Now, me as a member of parliament, I am being called to support the families of those who have come here, and yet they are healthy and looking well. Then also, too, the medical facilities themselves. Let's get the district hospitals at the border, from the border districts, facilitated with a few maybe beds here and there, so that those patients are treated there instead of bringing them this far here, and where their families can try to know that they are either doing well or otherwise. We are fatigued, and we are in a dilemma. We are under pressure from the community to request government open up. And how I wish that today when the president makes a statement, remind him that the other time he forgot to say something about the border districts, We thought there was a paper that he was to say something about, but he just forgot. Let's also be open, like these other districts that are in the center here. And we move on with this corona, but at least freely like others.
Honorable Chair, I thank you very much. I have taken a note. I have listened attentively and taken note. Should I have a chance to meet those people, I will deliver the message as it is. I thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
He has answered you. In fact, referral hospital, in short, he wanted us to create another referral hospital in Tororo. So to advise the people of Tororo that this is how we feed patients of COVID. Eggs, milk. So that this... Anyway, you said you have 800 patients now?
No, we have 280 patients as per last evening. So this morning, they are adding on every day. So I don't know how many I have. I have to ask how many so far today.
So now, don't you think you need a special budget?
Honorable Chair, we needed a special budget actually yesterday, but
so
unfortunately...
you put it a request. Put a request. Send it to us and we'll look at it. We will pass it over. So what we have asked you, we are saying in 2 days you should be ready.
Yes, sir.
By Thursday, we may need to have to meet again or we'll see what we can do.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any question? We have talked about COVID. Do you have any other thing?
Thank you very much. As per now, I will answer. I will ask some more questions when I come back, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Wish you the best.
Thank you, Chair. Before I leave, Honorable Chair, allow me to take my tea.
Okay. I'll wait for you. I'll send you with you to take it. Give me the tea. Hey.
Stop.